Reactions to Vikings OTAs so far. All of the observations we're reacting to in today's video, those observations come from Alec Lewis of The Athletic. And I'm telling you something right now, folks, these beat writers are super valuable, especially this time of year. OTAs, soon to be mini camp, training camp, where we as the fan base are trying to understand what's going on as far as the shaping of this roster, studs and duds. These beat writers are keeping us in the know. Shout out to Alec Lewis. First observation, JJ McCarthy lasered passes throughout Tuesday's session. From Wes Phillips, quote, "You see the juice that got when he lets go of the football." Lewis referenced pitching coaches and how they sometimes describe certain pitchers where it looks like the ball is exploding out of their hands, saying that of JJ McCarthy, that his spirals, it looks like it should have flames behind them. In which case, I tell you what, man, those intermediate and especially deep passes, when the receiver gets out of his breaks and gets a step or two on his defender, those flame-throwing passes, it doesn't allow the defender to catch up to that receiver for those 50-50 jump ball situations. Yards after the catch is still very much a possibility. But to that, as far as McCarthy having just one velocity to all his throws, those short yardage throws, unless they're screen passes going out wide, talking about dump off passes to the running back or tight ends in the curl route just beyond the line of scrimmage, those flame throwing passes, just dial it back just a little bit. Take a little bit of mustard off, because you risk in those situations for those receivers, the passes are just a bit too hot for them to handle, and it pops up into the air and you can risk jeopardizing a possible interception. The ball is going to be up there for grabs for any player on the football field. But that's just one of the things he has to work on. I think he'll be fine with KOC teaching him. Observation number 2, with Justin Jefferson absent, your wide receivers 1 through 3, Jordan Addison, Brandon Powell, and Jalen Nailor, which means for now, Nailor is, when Jefferson is back, Nailor is the wide receiver 4 or possibly competing with Brandon Powell for wide receiver 3. I think that 3 spot is going to be up for grabs. It is Brandon Powell's job to lose, but something to keep an eye on. And the wide receiver room is deep as hell. His 4 under the radar players, he mentions 2 of them, Alec Lewis. We'll get to that in just a second. Observation number 3. Robert Tonyan. And for this, let me get the description out, see exactly what Alec Lewis said about Tonyan, saying that Minnesota invited veteran tight end Robert Tonyan for a workout last week. He glided across the field, snatched passes out of the air, and impressed in conversations about his responsibilities on the field. From Wes Phillips, quote, "It was one of those workouts where you just look around and said, yeah, let's get him. I think he's really going to help us." I'll take it a step further. Not only is he going to really help us, he's going to make a huge impact. As long as TJ Hawkinson is out of commission, the 2 tight ends that you have on this roster that you can plug in, let's say you want to do a couple of 12 formations, but you want 2 tight ends to be legit threats to stretch the field, it's not going to be Josh Oliver. He's more of a short yardage tight end, and his value is in blocking. Those 2 tight ends, it's going to be Johnny Munt and Robert Tonyan. Saying that he snatched passes out of the air, it doesn't surprise me. That's Tonyan. I don't know how else to describe his game. Not necessarily going to end up on a highlight reel or Sports Center or anything like that. Robert Tonyan, he's going to make an impact for this team because he's just really, really good at football. This is the official channel of the Robert Tonyan Fan Brigade. I'm leading it, damn it. Observation number 4. In the nickel package, which really, we can talk about 4-3, 3-4, base all we want to. The real base formation in the National Football League, in today's league, is the nickel formation. Your cornerbacks 1 through 3, so far, it's Byron Murphy in the slot, and your two outside guys are Caleb Evans and Shaq Griffin. Mekhi Blackman got some work in with the starters as well. Saying also that Andrew Booth Jr. and Lewis Sane, they were working on the other side of the field. My response to that is, hey, bro, the Marcus Camby gift, just respectfully, there's too many players that are turning heads or will eventually turn heads, even outside of the safety and cornerback positions, to where it's like, if you want to take on extra receivers more than what you traditionally would, or more, let's say, pass rushers than you would, these two guys, you can't have them take up roster spots any longer. The jig is up. It's over. And lastly, observation number 5. His 4 players under the radar, according to Alec Lewis: safety Theo Jackson coming in when Cam Bynum subbed out, placing him as the safety 4, which really isn't a surprise at all. That sounds about right. 2 receivers, Tristan Jackson and Lucky Jackson, which I'm really rooting for Tristan Jackson. I think he has the capabilities of making explosive plays, and to do that at wide receiver 3 with 2 other explosive receivers. I mean, bro, right now Jalen Naylor has the inside track to be a threat to Brandon Powell for that job. But Tristan Jackson, Lucky Jackson at wide receiver. And lastly, Gabriel Murphy, the edge rusher out of UCLA, the undrafted free agent. It's obvious that he's going to have a role. I think we need to come up with an award system. I know the Score North guys, they got the Mr. Mankato award. Man, I feel like it's taken a leap from last year. I'm going to say the Ivan Pace Jr. award. Odds-on favorite is going to be Gabriel Murphy. But these beat writers, man, super valuable. They give you the insight that you desperately want to know, and allows for content creators like myself to react to them. I really, really appreciate the work that you guys do out there. More reactions as more observations come out.